What's up, guys? It's your favorite girl in the building once again, Akayla. It's been a minute since I've been in the studio, but we are here. We are back and better than ever. So, today's topic, I think is something good for you. So, listen, we're going to be talking about the mindset of the red versus the black. Some of y'all know what the red and the black is, others do not. So, let me give you a quick overview, real quick. So when it comes to the red, this means that you are in a financial deficit. Overall, this just generally means that you owe more than you own, meaning that you owe more than you owe more to other things and other people than you do when you have assets. So basically you are in the red. So because you don't have a lot and you owe more than you own, literally you're living on borrowed time and borrowed money. Okay, borrowed money, of course, meaning credit. Now, if you're talking about the black, okay, not my skin color, like saying I'm black, but in the black, right? This is coming from a financial term. This means that you are in a surplus, meaning that you actually have more than you owe, or you're bringing in much more income than you are putting out every single month. The real reason I want to talk about this is because many people think that it's the money that either put people in the red or the black. But I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with this. The real reason why people are either in the red or the black in their lives is because of the mindset. And let me give you an example. Yo, I know y'all seen the stories about people winning the lottery, right? They might have been in the red, right? They gamble, they go win some money, and they win millions. But guess what? 5-10 years, they're broke again. They're back in the red, even though they were put into the black. But it was because of their mindset, and they just couldn't shift it. They brought their red mindset into a black monetary state. But they couldn't stay there long because their mindset wasn't set. It was not trained to make sure that they remained in the black. Now, when you living in the red, and I've been in the red, that means that you are living in a state of subtraction, meaning that every single thing that you make typically is going into the bills and the debts that you owe. Unfortunately, when you're living in the red, you are typically always in a state of anxiety, which can cause other emotions like depression, or basically you living in survival mode. When you are living in the state of the black, this means that you're literally living in the state of addition and multiplication. What do I mean by this? You have been able to take care of your regular needs, right? But now you're in the state of being able to have more than enough. So what you have now isn't just everything that you have now. It's not just paying your bills. You're able to add to your savings. You're able to multiply your money by investing it. You're not stressed. You're not overly thinking. You're not making irresponsible moves, but you're living in a surplus. And again, living in addition and multiplication because your bills are already taken care of. Your necessities are already taken care of. So everything you have left, it's up to you to steward that money. Oh, and let me say this other thing. Because you are living in the black, you are able to not only live in surplus for yourself, but able to give to other people in need. So let me give you a deep dive, okay? When it comes to the mindset of the black, living in the black, y'all have to understand this is the typical consumer. Most consumers live in the black because they are living in a mindset of instant gratification, which is the I want it now, I want to live now, I want to do now. And because you want to do now, you never have anything for later. Because you want to do now, you're literally always trying to catch up, trying to pay your bills, trying to do X, Y, and Z to make ends meet because you're used to living in survival mode. So you don't know how it is to live in the black. You don't know how it is to have thousands on the side, not touch it, and be okay. You don't know what it feels like because every moment of your life may have always been in the black. Therefore, that's all you know how to operate in, okay? Living in the red ain't no joke. And another thing, before I get onto the black mindset, is that when you're living in the red mindset, you can transfer that type of thinking to your children, to your grandchildren, and to your great grandchildren. And then if you are a mentor teaching these type of unhealthy habits, you are then transferring the same mindset over to your friends, to your mentees, so and so forth. So you must be able to identify if you're living in the red or the black, so that you're conscientious of what you're doing, so that you don't put it on anybody else. Okay? Now, when it comes to the black mindset, again, not the color of my skin, but just the mindset of being in surplus. When it comes to that, this type of mindset is the I'll wait type of mindset, delayed gratification mindset. This is the I ain't gotta have it right now type of mindset, because I'm gonna make sure when I do get it, I'm going to pay for it in full mindset. I want to go back a little bit, okay? Because I just talked about a little bit about the red mindset, but I didn't tell you that based on the decisions that the red mindset has, it's usually fear-based, which is why every decision that is made is always to make it seem like you're missing out. That's why the decisions that a person makes like that, who's living in the red, is, oh, I don't want to miss out on life. I don't want to not have fun. I don't want to not have this, and I don't want to not have that. Now, when it comes to the black mindset, the thought process is that we have a long-term vision. We are long-term minded. And the concern isn't that we're going to miss out on life. It's more so we're going to live life, but in the right timing, okay? Some other differences that you may typically see in a person, which is it's okay to recognize it, is there is a scarcity mindset when it comes to the red mindset, because you are worried about not having, because you are worried about, basically you don't know if you ever going to have it again. There's always, okay, let's just get it, right? Now, when it comes to the black mindset, it's always you're living in abundance, which means that you're going to get what you have to get, but you know that if there is a need, you're already covered because you already living in abundance. Now, when the red mindset is getting something, it's typically going to be liability focused. This is why when you go into the less fortunate neighborhoods, so on and so forth, you typically see, and I've seen this as a social worker, you see a lot of cars, and a lot of times these cars are souped up, right? So you got the rims, you got all this other stuff. Then you also got the TVs, you got the back in the day, I'm pretty sure it was like radios and all that kind of crazy stuff, right? So in the poor households, or when you in the projects or whatever, you gonna see the craziest stuff. You're like, hold on, wait a minute. They got a 72-inch TV, but they couldn't afford a book bag for their child. Now the question is, how do you switch from the red mindset to the black mindset? I get it. Everybody don't want to switch it up, but if you want to switch it up, you have to really admit, yo, like, I have a problem. I am literally always living in the red. I'm always thinking I'm missing out. I'm always feeling like I can't catch up. I'm always feeling like I have to do before I actually have, right? So if you're feeling this way, admit it. Admit how you grew up. Admit that you're still living in this type of bondage, and admit that there is a problem so that you can get over the problem you have identified that you have. Your disciplines have to change from how can I spend or what can I spend to how can I sow? How can I save? How can I sacrifice? Oh, now why would you want to move from living in the red to living in the black? Why? The why. There's always a why. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of people believe that because people live in the black of abundance, right, they are focused on money and greed. The thing is that that's not the focus. Living in the black literally is able to help you to be available. Living in the red keeps you in bondage. Living in the black helps you to live in a type of freedom that most people cannot experience because of the mindset. So because you're able to be available, you're able to live more in your purpose, and you have a better perspective of life. There's no way that you can sow the way that you need to. There's no way you can mentor the way that you need to. There's no way that you can live in a state of truthfulness, honesty, and transparent if you're not in any type of freedom, right? So you have to acknowledge that you have a problem. You have to go switch your mindset from how do I spend to how do I sow, how do I save, so on and so forth. And you must recognize that there is a benefit in living in the black to make yourself available to live in the purpose that you were designed to live in. Again, there's no way that you can do it when you are living in the red. There's no way that you can do it living in the red, always in need, and you're struggling, you're in anxiety, you're headed to depression because you have a problem. Living in the black does have advantages. Now, one scripture that can help you with this is, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, but Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." Again, let me say this again. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." So not only is this man able to save enough and invest enough to where he can have a good life presently for him and his family, which is him, his wife, and his children, but he's also able to invest, or she is also able to invest enough to where there's so much of an overflow that the grandchildren are able to benefit off of the fruit that were planted way before they was even thought of. This happens with correct stewardship and living in the black. Living in the red does not help you to do this because your mindset, again, is always, what can I spend? What can I go get? How can I go live? Where can I go vacation? What clothes can I wear? What game can I purchase? What food can I eat right now? Y'all, without sacrifices, you will never be able to get to where you want to be. How do I know this? I've had to sacrifice a lot over time to get to where I want to be. Whether that's saving up thousands by not simply eating out every day, making sure that I'm being a good steward over the money that I give out, making sure that the money that comes in is not going to waste. Like, you have to understand sacrifice is a part of living in the black. But there are benefits to it. I promise you. This is why I say living in the red can mean you're way more fleshly than if you're living in the black. I mean, again, this is a misconception that living in the black is about you always wanting money. Actually, living in the red shows that you actually more materially minded than living in the black. Now, why? Because if your first thought is, what can I go get? Rather than what can I conserve and reserve, then you are materially minded. When you're living in the red and your mindset hasn't renewed, typically in the world, you have a lot of people that's in debt anyway. So if you're wanting to shift it from having a worldly mindset to a more stewarded mindset, which is discipline. So you move away from the debt consumer mindset to a disciplined stewardship mindset, which of course we already know the word, the Bible, the Bible, always commands us to do. Having a renewed mind, stewarding what we have correctly, whether that's our mind, our spirit, our finances, so on and so forth. But ultimately, you never want to get caught up in what other people have. You don't ever want to get caught up in what other people are doing and how they're looking and how they are moving. You look in the Word to see how to move correctly. I'm going to leave you with a couple of Dave Ramsey's I was about to say scriptures. That man ain't wrote no scripture, but he did write 2 really good quotes that I would love to give y'all. We buy things that we don't need with money that we don't have to impress people we don't even like. That's crazy, right? And again, that's a Dave Ramsey quote. Another quote that he wrote was, winning money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. So again, that 80-20 rule. Winning at money is 80% behavior. 80% behavior, which means it's what you do, how you do it, when you do it, so on and so forth. But it is 20% head knowledge. What does that mean? That means that what you do influence how much money you actually have, more than the head knowledge that you. So you can have all of these principles, you can read all the books, you can buy all the books, but if you never put those things into practice, because behavior is equivalent to action. Your behavior and what you do is action. So what you do matters more than actually what you know. You can take 5 basic principles and become a millionaire because you put those things into practice, rather than having a million money hacks, having a million quotes and books and all of that. None of that stuff matters when you don't actually apply it. Honestly, it's kind of like the Bible, the 80-20 rule, right? You can literally read the Bible every single day, go to church 3 and 4 times a week, but none of that stuff matters because that doesn't make you a Christian when your habits don't even align with the word. That's why I always couple faith and finances, because to become a Christian, a true Christian, a Christian that lives in spirit and in truth, you must read your word, but you also, more importantly, must follow the word that you're reading. Apply the word that you're reading so that you are able to truly show that you are a Christian and live and show people the fruit, or allow people to see the fruit that you're producing from the actions you're taking, from the principles that you are receiving. Okay, the very last thing I'm gonna say is the red mindset is a trap to keep you down, but living in the black is a tool. Are you going to be working for money, or are you going to allow money to work for you? Living in the red gonna keep you broke and working until you're 85 years old. Living in the black is gonna have you living off somewhere on a ranch as a millionaire with some millionaire friends, because you were able to what? Learn how to sow, how to save, and how to sacrifice. So with that, y'all, that's really all I got. I hope you enjoyed the information that I was able to provide. I hope you take heed to the information I was able to give you. Some mindset things and tools and just little tips to understand that you must know where you are so that you can switch it up and switch it out for a new mindset. So I hope you guys are encouraged. Be encouraged. Get encouraged. Encourage somebody along the way. And have a blessed day. So with that, I hope y'all have an amazing day. And I'll see y'all next time, next week, next day. I don't even know. But I'll see y'all next time. Be easy. Peace, peace.